Should be live. That's what everything says. Apologize for the delay there, and not only today starting 20 minutes late, but also the last couple weeks. It's been pretty hectic. This week alone has been. So let's start this formally. Hello and welcome back. We're just gonna be hopping in here and just having, an evening of relaxation and some Fallout. My wife is currently doing a training for the Department of Justice roleplay, so she will not be joining me. And so I just thought, let's hop on and have a relaxing evening of some Fallout. All week has been pretty rotten for me. Let's get out of the area right here. Go to my camp. Maybe. Alright, that was weird. So yeah, this past weekend there, we went up to Grand Prairie for their third Grand Con, a convention that's held at the Bonnets Energy Center, which is a arena, standard location for concerts and venue for any kind of event. Oh God, beside nobody cares.
Hazmat teams are en route.
Please
remain indoors and await further instructions.
For fusion cores here. Am I blind? I can't find my ammo. I think we're okay. So anyway, yeah, we went up to the Bonnets Energy Center there in Grand Prairie. We stayed at the Sandman just across the way, so it's super convenient. And we had a great con. We volunteered, did several shifts for the 501st. It was actually quite a bit of fun. And got to see some people that I hadn't seen in quite some time because I had missed last year. Last year, my wife and my good friend Kyle there had an opportunity to go up. However, I had to stay home and look after Belle. Only I have family that can do so, but my family had traveled back home to Nova Scotia for a wedding, so I had to stay there and look after the Belle. So, as a result, I missed it, so it was really nice seeing a lot of people. While I go to the Calgary Expo and stuff like that, not everyone travels because it's about 7.5, 8 hours to travel all that way. So not everyone that lives up there has the opportunity to take that much time off or has the means to do so. So it was really nice seeing a lot of the people that I don't often get to see. As well as this con is. This is not to knock on any of the other cons I go to, but it's kind of special. Like when I first moved to Alberta, I was in High Prairie, which is just a couple hours outside of Grand Prairie, and the squad that we had up there was fairly new when we joined for the 501st, Crimson Aurora squad, and it was it's near and dear to my heart. So even though I don't live in their geographic region, I go and I maintain my squad status by going out and trooping with them, at least once a year, and that's usually Grand Con. So it's kind of our con, if you will. Obviously, it's not officially, but it's near and dear to my heart, so it was really good to go up there. However, unfortunately, one of our members who came was ill and gave it to the other people that they were staying in the room with, and in turn, that spread through a few of us. And I was one of the unlucky ones to get it. And I actually tested positive for COVID the other night. So fortunately, my symptoms have started to abate. I have a bit of residual stuff like the runny nose and stuff like that, but nothing serious. Fortunately, triple vaccinated, so didn't have to worry too much, but it was kind of crappy get back and missed a week of work and didn't have much energy to do much else. That's why the only video this week prior to this was the little update about the Kupavagen project. So it's good to actually get in and do some streaming here and do some gameplay. Oh god, I can't remember. Still getting used to it. I still have to remember those damn radios. I might have to do something like a mod for that. Luckily, I don't monetize the channel, but it can be very easily, the video can be taken down or the audio can be ripped. And since I'm still new to it, I keep forgetting to do that. So, good fun. I don't monetize yet. I do plan on doing so in the future. My hope is that I can eventually get to the point where I'm doing YouTube full time, because I enjoy entertaining. I enjoy reading the comments from people. I enjoy providing content for people to watch. I know for myself, despite working during the pandemic, because the jobs I held were essential, I worked as a IT professional in a school. I couldn't just, be sent home, so we supported the teachers delivering distance learning. And, the ideal situation for me would be to do so, because I know for me during the pandemic, even though I worked and I wasn't at home the whole time, I watch a lot of YouTubers myself. Like, it's not just a service that I occasionally use. Like, I would say I watch more YouTube than I watch streaming services, and I have every streaming service. Like, I pay for Amazon Prime, I pay for Paramount Plus, I pay for in Amazon Prime a few different channels. And then I have Crave, I have Netflix, I have Shudder, I have Disney Plus, and we have one other one. Oh, Apple TV. So, like, it's not like I don't have access to these things, and we have cable. But what I spend most of my time doing is YouTube. And so if I can deliver, here we go. If I can deliver entertaining content, and people are interested in seeing it enough to the point where I am receiving monetary means to do so, then I can do it on a more full-time basis, which is what I really like to be able to do. Because I really like my job, and I have an excellent team. If any of my team members watch this, don't let it go to your head, but I really do. I have a good team. I have a good boss. Like, I actually like what I do. It's rewarding. I know that I am, providing assistance in, the teachers delivering quality education at the institute that I work at. So there's no dread or anything like that when I go to work, but my passions lie in gaming, and I spend a lot of time on my computer and the other projects I do, like Kupavagen. In fact, you'll see an official announcement soon. I'll do an actual video this weekend. My wife and I are starting on another project as well, so for the more nerdy individuals, we're going to be building a full-size R2-D2. Technically speaking, it's going to be an Imperial variant. I'm thinking like C2D5, but I don't have to use that nomenclature. I could really name it whatever I want, but I want an Imperial one. Of course, I'm first. We do bad guys, so I want a bad guy droid. But yeah, I'd love to be able to focus on my hobbies and my passions, and hopefully make them entertaining and have other people be able to tune in and enjoy. So. So yeah, that's the plan eventually. I have a Patreon. I have some work to do on it. I know I keep saying I'll get that live, but to be honest with you, monetization of the channel is not my primary goal right now. My primary goal is to build out content, make sure that I can maintain the schedule. Obviously, the illness kind of put some of that on Damber, plus super busy with the end of the school year, and this summer my wife and I starting up our physical fitness, and I apparently don't know moderation. I like to jump in head first with everything, so My primary goal is to kind of build out a channel with sustainable and consistent channel content, so that I can not only build out a repository of items as a showcase for someone who might be a prospective viewer and potential subscriber, as well as to see what kind of sticks, throw it at the wall. So if nobody ends up watching my streams, and so far that's been the case with Fallout, if Fallout on Fridays is not what's captivating people, then I can either shift the time, shift the day, shift the content, so that it's not Fallout, it can be something else. Maybe it'll become kind of like the Thursday content that I have, where it's kind of just a throwaway and I can do whatever, people can tune in. My idea for this one was kind of that to begin with, really, just to have a repository of videos that don't really have necessarily a sequential order. You kind of show up when you want to and tune in if you want to get involved, but you don't have to. So I'm not too worried if people don't end up viewing these. But eventually I'd love to get to the point where there's actually people involved. So when I'm chatting, like right now, I'm technically just talking to myself. Well practiced at that. But, you know, I'd love to get to the point where I'm engaging with the members of the community and eventually get mods that can support me. So if there's something interesting that I ought to see and I might have missed it, I can have people assist me with that. So, guess I'll be honest. I was really into the Mayor of Kingston, and I would have rather continued watching it, but I didn't really have an excuse. I'm feeling better, and I haven't done a lot of videos this week, so it was an opportunity for me to hop on. I like to say the word opportunity when there's things I don't want to do. It helps frame it in a little better way. But, no, I actually did legitimately want to hop on. I mean, part of the thing, like everyone after a week and the first day on the weekend. But no, I'm looking forward to continue to build up the channel and get engaged with everyone. So they don't like me here. If I were to say one thing about 76 as like a, not even a critique, but just an observation. You get to the point, especially in power armor, when you know, and maybe not just that, but maybe just your class spec build. For my class in particular, you get to a point where you basically are nigh invincible. That's not helpful. And so the challenge kind of escapes, but it's still fun. Living in the Fallout world, especially with my wife, like I still prefer Fallout 4, and for a couple different reasons. First, as with the previous Fallouts, which I'll end up doing like a whole playthrough, but for me, one of the key things is the setting. Like, I much prefer the, you know, couple hundred years later. There's the, right now, the only NPCs you run into are mostly combatants and kind of mindless bees, right? There's very little raiders, and because they went a different direction where you can kind of ally with them, they're not by default. They're not like by default hostile, and as a result, the world feels kind of empty, despite it being huge. Is there something else I missed in this one? Yeah, it was. And then, you know, for example, I loved personal bias, but I loved helping the Brotherhood and seeing patrols and like Fallout 3, protecting Project Purity, walking water around. I loved in Fallout 4 getting the Brotherhood built up. You know, NPCs that you come across being more plentiful and it kind of being a populated area. Right now, kind of when you go through, if you see a player, obviously there's no real risk unless you engage them and they engage you. And then when you see NPCs, most often there's the occasional scavengers, occasional settlers who are farming or whatever they're doing. But, by and large, it's mostly like the Scorched or ghouls or, the occasional equivalent to raiders. So, while I like 76, I like it mostly because I'm playing Fallout and I can do it with my friends, rather than 76 itself being my particular preference. Having said that, they've come a long way since 76 released, and in fact, it's way better now. When it first released with no settlers, it was quite barren. I didn't really enjoy it. And we ended up leaving pretty quick. But, eventually, you kind of have to accept it for what it is. I would love to have, Fallout 4 together, mostly because of mods. That's the other reason why the other Fallout games tend to be my preference. Modability is super, super cool. The ability to make changes to the game based on things you want. Like, obviously, there's everyone that, has their, naughty mods on certain websites. And if you want to make it a debauchery central, go right ahead. To each their own, of course. I'm not saying I'm, any better. That's all I'll say about that. But things like, I disagree with the interpretation of the vertebrates only being able to use a little thrown, whatever you call it, signal grenade to be able, they have communicators, so why can't I use a communicator? And, the ability to fly, why can I only fly to discovered locations? That's silly to me. It's a helicopter. It should be able to fly anywhere. So, I get why Bethesda did that, because they didn't want to make one faction clearly more powerful or better. But, same thing with the signal relay. The synths didn't have to have, the Forcers released in the book. They didn't have to be somewhere before to be relayed in, so I download mods that allow, as a Brotherhood player, I can use the Vertibird to go anywhere, whether I've been there before. As an Institute player, I can relay anywhere, whether I've been there before. Relay from indoors, because you see it multiple times, so I disable fast travel without those means. I make it so the only way you can really travel around is either on foot or utilizing one of those means. And that does mean that the unfortunate Minutemen can get kind of a shaft, but that's fine, because if you're playing as a Minutemen character, you should feel like you're kind of downtrodden because you're competing against essentially superpowers. So, I like the ability to mod the games so that I can live in my version of Fallout. So even though I don't create mods, though I very well could. Not any of the ones that are crazy scripted, I didn't even know to start. But simple mods I could do. The real thing that I like is being able to hey, this guy created a good mod, or this girl created a cool mod, or this person did this, right? And having those and being able to mold Fallout to closer to what my vision of what Fallout would be,
The security
for me, or
has
really
ended.
cool kind of
The
thing.
reactor lockdown has ended.
So yeah, I like 76 though. Super, super good compared to what it was when it first launched. Come a long way. Let's open the window. So, yeah, I'm gonna get some more stuff. So, get the Google project starting. I don't suspect many of my people who watch gaming will be interested in that, and if need be, I'll separate it into a separate channel to make sure it's more conducive to that. Just like I suspect most of the people that would watch that are not going to watch the rest of this, so if I need to, I can definitely do so. But I kind of want the channel or channels that are under the umbrella of my content to feature all of my hobbies. So I, like to do many things. I have probably far too many hobbies. And so being able to share those with the community, fun. Some of them obviously wouldn't be practical. Like I can't watch copyrighted material like movies. So there'll be some stuff that obviously is somewhat more challenging to share, but where possible, I'd like to share my hobby. They don't like me very much here. Elon. Yeah. I'd engage the community, but so far there is none. I should say, there's none present. I do actually have a small community, which is quite nice. Really cool people have been doing content. But, yeah. I've noticed that I'm kind of a loot hoarder. Whenever I play these games, I end up picking up even games where you're not technically, like, it's not necessarily intended. Like, I'll be playing Arma and I'll go over and be like, oh, what does this guy got? Like, I'm like, stop it. Get some help. Like, I end up looting even when I perhaps ought not to. These games have been a bad influence on me. But then you have games like Bethesda where they just, reward you by being a klepto. The only thing that's, and luckily with Fallout it's not as big of a deal, the only thing with games coming in and doing like prequels is Ultrasight, right? You never see it in any of the other Now, luckily, with Fallout and games like that, where the worlds are somewhat isolated, in this case because the apocalypse, you kind of get away with it. And there's a measure of, suspending disbelief. These are all fictitious worlds. Apologies. Oh, my sleep cycle's been all messed up. I was gonna say. I heard someone sprinting up on me. I was like, the heck? The heck? Yeah. So, you can hear my wife in the background. She's doing her wildlife range training, so. Ordinarily, she wouldn't, if I was streaming without her, she wouldn't be interrupting, but technically we're interrupting her. Because even though this is scheduled, when you sign up to a subdivision, you only generally have a certain amount of time to do so. We've been so busy with everything else that when there's an opportunity to get it in, you just get it in. So I actually had an opportunity to join their media team. Not to say that they would accept, but they opened applications for it. But with the con and the couple projects starting up, our physical fitness, and my grandparents moving in, it's been busy. So I definitely want to join that team so I can stream that kind of content. Because I'm already going to spend the 40 hours, give or take, a month on that community. So might as well include it into the content. It's part of my hobbies. But currently, I am too much on the go. So. I always thought it was interesting, actually. I've tuned in on Twitch at times, joined different streamers, both on Twitch and YouTube, and then you join their stream. And even though there's someone like me with nobody watching, they're new or they've been at it for a while and they just haven't made it, they haven't been discovered, whatever you want to say, and they're sitting there quiet. Why? Act as if people are in the stream, because when you get one viewer, they're not necessarily going to know nobody else is in the stream other than the fact that the chat's vacant, and they're going to feel like you are, legit. They're going to be like, hey, this guy's talking to me, or whatever, right? So if, I have any tips, and if you want to follow someone with very little subscribers who might not know what they're talking about, but sounds good, make the one person that you have end up getting in your stream feel, as if they're not alone. So, I mean, I'm also a bit of a talker. All throughout my life, people told me that they were polite often and said, I really like to talk, which is usually a nice way of saying that maybe I talk a bit too much. But it's very convenient for streaming and YouTube. Match made in heaven, if you will. Yeah, I'll have a formal announcement of it later, and I will make a video completely dedicated to that. But yeah, the plan essentially. For the R2 build, or C2B5, is there's a gentleman who's done some amazing work with 3D models. His name is Mr. Badley. So Michael Badley is well known in the droid building circles. He has a Patreon. I highly recommend if you want to use his stuff. He does have some free plans available, but kick him some bucks at least for the duration of your project, because why not? He has a fantastic resource. He makes it available for those of us like myself who not 3D modeled and might not be, the greatest at it. So might as well kick him some bucks. Now, I don't know the man, but I certainly appreciate his hard work. So, and I have two 3D printers right now: a Creality 10S Pro V2 with the auto bed leveling, and a Creality Ender 5. Or is it Ender 3? But anyway, one of those in the Pro version. No auto bed leveling, but still good quality. Apparently we missed the reactor. Oh well, he turned it on.
Poseidon Energy Plant, WV-06, is now online. Canceling civilian nuclear alert. All maintenance contracts have been terminated.
Yeah.
Services are no longer required.
So there's gonna be the there's gonna be that project on the channel. So the 3D printed droid. I have two printers. I might pick up a third for this project because the current version that he has, you can use older versions, so it's not like I'm limited. But the current version is kind of optimized for a 500 by 500 by however much bed, so 500 length and width, and then 500 or more height. And I don't have anything. My 10S Pro is, I think, 300 by 300 by 5 or 600, whatever. It's quite tall. And then the Ender is less. It's like, whatever, 200, or 250, 250, whatever. Which is fine for all the Greeblies and for most of the parts that are not the main things. Now, he does also have, Michael, the guy who made the files, does also have it optimized for 300 by 300, because that's what most people would cap off at. But I might end up springing for an extra printer, because with one printer you can print all the parts in about, if they're going 24/7 and you optimize how you're printing them and you have minimal delays, and you get it done in like 3 weeks to a month. Or sorry, with one printer you can get it done in about 2 months. So 2 printers you can get that done in about a month. 3 printers you can get that done 3 weeks. So, and the sooner I have all the parts, the sooner we can start. Because if you've ever worked with 3D printed parts, there's quite a bit that goes into it. You have to sand the living date. Well, it depends on your layer height and the type of filament you're using. But you have to sand them. You have to filler, primer. Then you have to sand again, filler, primer, and repeat until you have basically no layer lines and it's nice and smooth. Then you have to put your layers of paint. Yeah. 2 or 3 layers. So it's quite a iterative process. So the sooner we can have the pieces, the sooner we can get that all started. And the benefit is, if we wanted to, my wife also likes droids, would like to build R2KT. So for those who don't know, the founder of the File First Legion, Albin Johnson, his daughter ended up getting sick. And R2KT was made in honor of that. So I'll pull up a little bit of information on that to make sure I don't misquote, but R2KT. Yeah. So I'll pull it up here. It's quite cute. I don't know if it'll come through on the thing. Of course not. So it's basically a pink R2 unit. So replace all the blue components with pink. And so Um. Oh. Stupid ads. I clicked on it. Let's go to the behind the scenes. Yeah. Yeah. So Albin Johnson said this, which is heartbreaking. In 2004, Katie was diagnosed. That's the R2K2. It's quite clever. But in 2004, Katie was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Katie loved Star Wars and loved the color pink. And when her health declined to the point where she couldn't get out of bed, she said she wished she had a droid to watch over her like R2D2 watched over sleeping Padme in Attack of the Clones. It was created by the R2D2 Builders Club in 2005 as a tribute to Katie Johnson, 7-year-old daughter of Alvin Johnson, who was the founder of the Fire Force Legion. She was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in 2004. And then members, of course, from the Star Wars community abroad, not just the Legion, reached out with support. In fact, when George Lucas was visiting Japan for a promotional tour of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the Japanese garrison told him about Katie, and he filmed a Get Well video. And then it goes on to say about how when Katie was having declining health and was bedridden, she wished for a droid to watch over her. When Jerry Green of the R2 Builders Club heard of Johnson's story, he and his fellow builders organized a campaign to collect parts and assemble an R2 unit for Katie. In a few months, they constructed a custom, fully functional droid, painted pink and named R2KT. Katie kept the droid by her bedside through her final days. Apologies. Heavy shit. Anyway, so, not only is the droid quite unique, but it's also obviously very near and dear to many, and would be really cool if we had one in our garrison as a show of support for not only Katie but all those who've gone through that or who've watched family members go through that. So it's quite a powerful symbol. So I want to build the Imperial droid, obviously. Perfect. Oh god. Oh, radio. See? Still bad. Where? I don't know where the radio is. Oh, there it is. Stop it. So, but anyway, it's super powerful. My desire for a droid is far more. Hey, droids are cool. I've always liked their bodies. I'm in the Empire. Megan's desire to have about how powerful of a healing tool that the compassion.
Now trading for supplies, ammunition, and gear.
Anyway, if we have 3 3D printers, then we can theoretically print multiple items.
resupply here, citizen. Be sure to stock up while you can.
Yeah, apologize for making the stream much heavier than anticipated. Getting soft in my old age.
Stock up now while supply.
Joking aside, my
available.
heart goes out to anyone who is currently suffering and or has suffered or has watched others suffer. Cancer sucks.
If you have supplies to trade, I can be of service.
Always blows me away. You know, I think perhaps being pessimistic, sometimes I lose faith when you see about all the terrible things that people do. And then you read a story that, while sad in the end, showed the camaraderie and the care for fellows.
Welcome, citizen. I am authorized to trade supplies. Requisitions now available.
Man, what do you get for plans?
I am authorized to
Nothing much.
trade supplies and equipment.
Bit of a collector. I like to collect all the notes, but I only need one of each. So. Doesn't it? Instructions. Johnny. Oh, that's a good song too. You know, one of the best Fallouts, which I'm kind of rediscovering, is 76. Or sorry, New Vegas. When it came out, I don't know why. I never really latched on, and I don't know why. But recently went back and did some mods on it. Not that it needed any, but just did some, and really have enjoyed doing so. Like I said, I'll end up going through all of them. Unlike with the Elder Scrolls, I'm already kind of doing 76, but not in any like sequential way. So for that one in particular, rather than worrying about going through and doing it 100% sequentially. What I'll probably do is just start with Fallout 1 and go through. 76, I can just keep playing, and then if we wanted to do the story for it, I can always just go back and excuse me, and do it up. So, because I do want, I have like a stupid amount of games in the library. Like if I were to bring up Steam right now, it's like literally 200. So installed, I have 124. But if I actually go to my profile, 267 games on Steam alone. So, plenty of opportunity to do many different playthroughs. How long have we been up? 46 minutes? Maybe we'll do a shorter one tonight. I kind of wanted to hop on, make sure people knew I was, still streaming, doing okay, not still feeling super ill. And I think I've accomplished that. Next week will be a return of all regularly scheduled content. So on Tuesday, I'll likely do the official reveal of the build project, so that kind of alternate one Tuesday for the R2D2, one Thursday for the vehicle. However, that's not set in stone. If I find that I have more content on the R2 build or vice versa, I can always still have those. They don't necessarily have to fall into a set day. Wednesdays, go back into doing some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen's heating up. It's getting good. We've got the personal elevators coming very soon, if it's not already out. Like, that's literally, I haven't been on my computer in a little bit because I haven't been feeling well, and I know it's coming soon. So we have that. We've got 4.0 with the first jump gate. If you haven't watched the newest Inside Star Citizen, I highly recommend you do so. It's really, really cool. I look forward to see where they go with that. And we've got the Polaris, we got some ships, we got new mechanics, the whole pyro system, like all kinds of cool stuff coming. So that's definitely becoming very, very interesting. And then Thursday, we're going to do some throwaway. I might even start doing some Valheim, is what I'm thinking about doing. And then, yeah, on Friday we'll have our Fallout stream. And if we don't find it's getting lots of following, then maybe I'll start on the Fridays doing the playthrough of the original games. And of course, Mondays are still open for content, so I might have a different thing on Mondays where we start doing a Let's Play of various games. So, looking forward to continue to build out the channel. I want to keep delivering content. One of the things that we're going to do is these are actually going to be posted in advance, scheduled, and then we're going to be able to jump into them. I'll be honest, I don't know how to do that. Do I schedule it in advance on the OBS? I'm still learning how to do some of the stuff on YouTube, but there'll be like a set schedule. Also, next week I'd like to get the Kick and Twitch up, because streams, obviously those are the bread and butter. That's what most people stream on. So if I can captivate some people on that, pull them over to YouTube to watch the old recorded stuff as well as the static content that's not dynamic and live, and then they can enjoy listening to this responder iBot just beep at me the whole time I'm trying to do a outro. It's swell, super swell. Yeah, so continue to build up the channel, and when I can do it full time, it'll be really nice because it doesn't have to be on the evenings. Right now, working the full-time job, basically I have to do it either on the evenings and weekends, and of course I still have the projects I'm working on, so those have to be filled up in certain days. I have the 501st in general, like as far as attendance goes to events. I'm also part of the PR team, so I'm involved in getting all of our posts done up. There's talks about us doing additional content for the PR team, so stay tuned for that. Some fun stuff coming up with that. I'm also a member of a World War II reenacting group. So I wear a lot of hats. Got online community, so I'm a staff member in a Star Wars Galaxies Legends guild. Excuse me. So there's a guild in the Star Wars Galaxies Legends Discord that I'm a member of staff of for imps. So if you play Star Wars Galaxies and you want to hang out, hit me up in there. If you have any questions about that, throw a link in the comment and I can let you guys know. In fact, I might even do some content on that because I have to make some money. I own several properties across my accounts because you can have up to 5 characters on your account, and each of them owns several pieces of property. And they're all coming up to their payments, so that means I got to hop on and grind and get some money. So if anyone's interested in seeing that, seeing how the game's still kicking, as well as learn a little bit about how we do RP. We are primarily Imperial RP, but we work with others as well. And then, of course, the DEOJ. I can't film that one until I'm a member of the media team, but yeah, I'm a member of the Department of Justice roleplay community. And then I'm just a gamer. Like, I like to just play games. And I have uppers and spend some time with that. We have family game night and all that jazz. So, lots of things on my plate, as I'm sure with everyone else. So if you did take time out of your days to watch any of my videos, even a portion of them, thank you very much. Your support, means a lot. I sincerely hope that you enjoy the content. And for those who don't, if there's anything you think I could do to improve, let me know. If there's any way I can pull in more people that I can entertain. At the end of the day, that's my goal. Is like I said, I not to hide anything. I want to be able to do this full time, and if I can do things that make it better, whether that's different times, different genres, different avenues, I'm more than happy to do so. So, for those who watch or watched this, thank you. And if you stayed to the end, appreciate you, and thank you for listening to my ramble. But that's all.